garage. And today we're riding the rails. Alright, like I said in the intro, what we're going to be doing in today's video is we're going to be riding these frame rails. Like this. Maybe not so much. What we're actually going to be doing is cutting this frame in half. So that way we can dispose of the front end and then go ahead and start figuring out how we're going to make our tongue on our trailer for our overlanding camping trailer. So I'm going to bring the camera around here and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing. And in this video, we're probably going to need some safety glasses and some gloves because we're going to be using the wheel of death to try to cut this in half. So let me bring you around here and I'll show you what we're going to do, and then we'll get risking our lives just to cut a frame. So let's get at it. All right, so I have gone up to the local Ford dealership. That's Steve Marsh Ford, Milan, Tennessee, is where we're getting our Bronco from. And inspected two Broncos. One is basically a base model with no lift, no nothing. I mean, it looks like it's got little bitty tires on the thing. And what I did was I measured from the ground up to where I thought maybe the ball would be on that truck, because this truck didn't have a receiver on it. So it was somewhere around 24 inches. Now, there was another one that was one of the salesmen's, and his truck sat around 28 inches, but he had 35s on there. And we may put 35s on ours later on, but that's going to require a lift kit. But I do know we're going to put 33s, and even with the 33s, we're probably going to need somewhere around 25, 26 inches to start out with. Maybe 27. So when we had the pickup bed on this frame, it kind of ended right here where these white lines are. Now if I measure that to the top, we have basically, we'll say 27 inches. It's probably going to be around more like 26 inches. Maybe even as low as 25, depending upon what kind of weight we put in this trailer. Right now there's no weight. And this truck is just, the springs are just pushing it up. So once we get our bed back on, our camper shell and all of our equipment, this thing's probably going to ride around 25, 26 inches. At least this part of the frame will be. Now, the Broncos that were up there, 26 inches is going to be perfect to go ahead and extend this frame out straight. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but this frame kind of goes like this and then it droops down where the cab would be, or below the cab. And I don't want it that low because I don't want the trailer riding like this going down the road or like this. So it's got to be somewhere right in the, like I said, 26 inch mark. So with this part of the frame, we'll be able to come straight out with our new part of the tongue to the trailer and keep everything level from here on out. So what I'm going to do is measure this and then start to cut it. Now, if you'll notice right here, I have a board and some pieces of wood in here. And I've kind of got them wedged in there so that way this part of the frame don't drop. And what I'm going to do on this side is I have a big jack. And what I'm going to do is just kind of jack it up. Probably put a 2x4 underneath it and just put the jack on it to keep this side from drooping when I go to cut it. I want to keep everything as level as I can. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and put the board under the middle of the frame, and then I'll bring you around here. We'll make our marks for cutting our frame, and then we'll go ahead and start cutting it. All right, so as you can see how this frame here kind of droops down. We don't want that in our new trailer tongue. We want it to just come straight out. So I got this board. Like I said, all this is going to do is just keeping this from falling in, drooping in while we cut it. Just going to snug it up, not trying to pick it up. I just want it to stay perfectly level while we cut it so that way it doesn't pinch the grinding wheel. So I'm going to jump over there and I'm going to show you how we're just going to mark it and then we'll go to cutting. Alrighty, so what we got is some masking tape, a level, a tape measure, and a real fine tip Sharpie. Now, you may not be able to see it, but right here, I'm going to draw a black line on it. Maybe you'll be able to see it, maybe not. Right here is kind of where this segment of the frame hooks into this piece. Or, I believe that's correct. Yeah, maybe, yeah. So, I don't know. But here's this little part of the frame. It's going to be the exact same on that side. So what I'm going to do, I think I've already measured it over there. We're just going to butt our tape measure up to it. And I think I was going to go, because as you start coming here, this frame kind of starts rolling down. So I don't want to hit this spot. So I think it's going to be, we're going to say 9 inches from this edge, just button the tape measure all the way up to it. 9 inches, just like that. Now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna use this level. What that's gonna do is just get me straight level to the, you know, keep everything plumb. Just like that. I mean, it ain't gotta be perfect, but it needs to be pretty close. Just because if we're adding on to this, we might be pulling from this to get our measurement instead of that later on. So we just want to make sure it's all correct. Then what I'm going to do is take some blue tape, put it like this, and then run it down. And basically what this is going to be is for when I'm cutting it with the saw or the grinder. That's going to be a reference for me to run my blade down right through there. Of course, then I have to go across the bottom as well. You know, quite a bit to cut. So probably when I start cutting this, I'm probably going to try to cut start at the bottom and work my way up like this and then around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get over there and measure that the same way, and then we'll get ready to start cutting it. Alrighty, got our safety glasses on and our gloves on. We're not using our guards, so we need to be very, very careful. So I got a cut on this side, I believe it is. Nope, that side. Got a cut on the other side, so I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. Maybe I'll be able to... Alrighty, so that side is broken free. We're gonna finish cutting this one out. Make sure when you're doing this, you don't have like a can of gas somewhere sitting around close by, or you make sure wherever you're doing this is well ventilated. Some of you might want to wear a mask or something because of the little metal shavings. But yeah, you don't want any of all them sparks to hit a gas can and blow yourself up. So make sure when you're grinding it, because this is going to throw a lot of sparks, that you are aware of what around you could be flammable. You know, keep eye on your clothes and a rag or anything that could be laying around, because there's a lot of sparks going on. So be careful. That's all I can say. Just be careful. Another thing is you'll go through these discs pretty quick, but another thing with these discs, let the disc do the work. Don't go prying or wiggling the grinder, because you'll break this and there ain't no telling where it's going to go. Could go inside your forehead. So when you're using it, just be easy, back and forth. Take it easy. Let the wheel do the work and don't put it in a bind. All right, note to self. If you're doing this, make sure you put something underneath the back of it. As soon as I cut through this frame, it just rocked back like that. So kind of handy now. I can just grind these down and make them smooth with the flapper disc. But, you know, it's not heavy, but make sure you're putting something back there just to kind of keep it from flopping back like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my other grinding wheel on my grinder. I'm just going to come through here and clean all this up so that way it's not sharp and little burred edges, so I don't wind up cutting myself. So I'm going to just kind of run through the rest of this video real quick with you now. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, all that kind of good stuff. Now we did go through here with our flapper disc, clean all this metal up on both sides so that way we don't have any little jagged edges or anything that might cut us or poke us in the finger or anywhere else. So now that this is done, the next thing we'll be doing in the next video is cleaning up all the rest of this frame as best we can, pressure washing it, you know, trying to get a lot of this mud and stuff off. And then what we're going to do, let it dry. I'm just going to come in here with some black Rust-Oleum paint, just paint the rest of it. It's going to be out in the woods, camping. It ain't going to a car show, so it ain't got to be perfect. Now, we have this toolbox right here. Now this is the exact toolbox that I want to put on the front of this trailer, at least one of them. And somebody gave this to me. I was helping them on their house, work on their house, and they said, hey man, do you want that toolbox? And I said, if it's free, it's for me. And it's the exact toolbox I wanted. So I appreciate it to the guy that gave it to me. Works great. Even those work, still work. Only thing it doesn't work is the key. So we'll have to have another key made. Take it out, take it to a locksmith. If I put 2 boxes on here, we'll have them keyed the same. So that way, one key works all the boxes. But my plan is to be able to put a bigger toolbox here that's maybe like a big rectangle, square toolbox, or rectangle. So that way I can put maybe like camping or jacks, toe straps, chain. I don't know, whatever we could put in there that we might need while we was out on the road. And then this one would be my electrical box. Put my recycle marine battery in here, or 2 of them really, and then put a control module in the middle, and maybe if we do any kind of water system on there, that would have switches. We're also going to have lights that are going to be in the bed, and I may, put some switches, a master kill switch in here. A lot of electrical stuff. So I like to have 1 box for that, and 1 box for jack, straps, things like that. Now, we will be repainting this to make it give it a little fresher look. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is try to give you an idea of how the tongue of this trailer is supposed to look, or how I plan on doing it. And it's probably going to fall on me. I've made this clip 3 times, and every time I do this, they fall. But if this right here is the beam coming out of the trailer, like this, and then this would basically be here going like that. All right, let's see if we can do it and not fall on us. Something like this. Don't fall. And then this would be basically 2 feet, and this is where my big toolbox would sit. And then as this 45 degrees in, this box would sit up here in front of the other box. So we have the big box here, or back here, smaller box here. And then there'll be a main beam that runs from all the way up to the receiver on the truck. This would be the tongue of the trailer. It'd go up to the truck. I could put a dolly leg here, and so that way I could roll it around. And then there'll be a beam back here like this that cuts across, and then you'll have that one that runs all the way out to the back of the truck. And like what I said, that's just basically an idea of how it's kind of going to look, but with wood. So that's all I had on me at the time. So we'll be getting to work on this as soon as we get the frame cleaned up, we'll try to start getting this all welded in, and we'll do a video on that. Once that's done, I'm just going to throw some primer on it, probably take some of that same chassis paint, paint all this metal and the tongue to the front of the trailer all black. Once that's done, we can start wiring up our trailer as far as our trailer lights from our tow vehicle, turn signals, all of that. And I did keep the factory harness for this truck, because of what I want to do is tie into that, so that way all the plugs in the tail lights, they're all the factory ones, the bumper, they're all the factory lights, so that way I don't have to worry about getting new plugs and all that. So I did keep that harness. We'll get all those done. Probably somewhere up here on the trailer we'll have little clearance lights, maybe on the side, just extra little lighting, because it's going to kind of be long in the front, so we want to make sure that that space that's in the middle, that there are lights, so that way if we go by somebody, they can see the light and know our trailer is still, coming by. Don't want somebody to hit us because of that. And then once that's done, we will be painting the bed of the truck. We do have a panel that we have to replace. We'll get the bed painted. Once it's painted, we'll be painting or having the rhino linings or raptor lining or whatever lining we use. I guess it's a bed liner material. We'll be having that sprayed on the inside the bed and on the camper shell that we're still looking to buy. So if you have a camper shell and you live in West Tennessee and it's a good one in good shape, all the windows are in it, and you want to donate it to a guy, comment down below. So that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below. Share this video. Subscribe to the channel. I think it's the main 4 things to do. So that's going to be it. God bless you and have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video.